Welcome back to my YouTube channel. You're at to Save Our Children TV. Back at it for a brand new video. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn the post notifications on so you'll be notified every single time I drop a brand new video. Tonight we have eight stories tonight. 4 and 4. First story is taking us to Arkansas. So Kansas is taking an L. Truman, Kansas. Truman, Arkansas. Second and eight. A 9-year-old, Kinley Corbett, was lying in a hospital bed, both legs covered with casts from injuries she suffered at Truman Elementary School. Her mother has sued the district over an incident that happened a year ago when her child was already living with a disability. Fox 13 sat down with the little girl and her mom. More than a year later, the little girl says she continues to have complications from the incident that was caught on camera. The suit doesn't specify an amount, but the trial is set for June. Kinley Corbett is your typical 9-year-old girl, despite being in a wheelchair. After being diagnosed with congenital muscular dystrophy, you can catch her on the sideline cheering with her squad. She also an honor roll student at Truman Elementary. I don't want to go back to school for a while, Kinley said. That was because Kinley was afraid she could be injured by another student again. She asked another girl if they wanted to race. The girl recalled, and then she asked me, and I said, sure, but don't go that fast. And she started pushing me, and she would go faster and faster. Video from inside the Truman Elementary Gymnasium from November of 2023 shows another student pushing Kinley, then letting go, allowing her to roll into a water fountain. As soon as I got to the school door, I could hear her screaming. I took her to the clinic in Truman, said Anisha Lawless, Kinley's mother. We did x-rays. It shows both her femurs were broken. Kinley was in two full leg casts for 8 weeks and sent home, but her road to recovery was just beginning. She had an allergic reaction and was in excruciating pain. The mother said she was transferred from Jonesboro to Memphis and had to stay for a week. Lawless is now suing the school board of the Truman School District for allegedly not following her daughter's individualized education program, which is called IEP. Kinley's IEP says she'll have a paraprofessional to assist her at all times, but the lawsuit states Lawless has text messages between her and the aide that said the woman was regularly being put to assist in other duties in the school, and students would be assigned to stand in for her. In fact, when Kinley was injured, the lawsuit said her aide was untangling Christmas lights. Now she has, if it is not her aide, someone is with her at all times, but that was after the incident. This had to happen, and she almost lost her life from them to do what they signed an agreement from the beginning. Lawless said. Now here is hold on. Fox 13 reached out to Truman School District and received this response. Quote, Truman School District priorities the safety and well-being of all students, while the district could not discuss specific students' matters due to federal privacy laws. We can confirm ongoing legal proceedings related to an incident in the gym school last year. Video footage from the incident shows the student's aide was present, and the district has assisted its practices to improve its support for all students. TSD remains committed to providing necessary accommodations for students with disabilities and ensuring a safe, inclusive environment for everyone. Rebecca Worship, you're singing law, mixing, and Worship PLC. And now, here is the news video.
Hey, on Fox 13, take a look at the top of the screen here. That little girl pushed in a wheelchair through a school gym and then crashed into a water fountain.
And this is how she's now been left in a hospital bed, both of her femurs broken. The little girl was already living with a disability.
And now her family is suing the Truman, Arkansas School District. Fox 13's Dominique Dillon is live with the story you'll see only here on Fox 13. So, Dominique, the most obvious question: how's the little girl doing tonight?
The little girl is doing all right, but more than a year after the incident that was caught on camera, she's still having complications. Now, her mother would like to hold the district accountable, and she's doing so through filing a lawsuit. Now, the lawsuit doesn't specify an amount that they would like, but there is a trial scheduled for June. Kinley Colbreth is your typical 9-year-old girl. Despite being in a wheelchair after being diagnosed with congenital muscular dystrophy, you can catch her on the sidelines, cheering with her squad. She's also an honor roll student at Truman Elementary School.
I didn't want to go back to school for a while.
That's because Kinley was afraid she could be injured by another student again.
She asked another girl if they wanted to race, and then she asked me also, and I said, sure, but don't go that fast. And then she just started pushing me. And then, like, when she started pushing me, she would get faster and faster.
Take a look at this video from inside the Truman Elementary Gymnasium from November 2023. It shows another student pushing Kinley, then letting go, allowing her to roll into a water fountain.
Got up there, and as soon as I got to the school door, I could hear her screaming. So I took her up to the clinic in Truman. We did x-rays, and it showed both her fingers were fractured.
Kinley was in 2 full leg casts for 8 weeks and sent home. But her road to recovery was just beginning.
Had an adverse reaction, excruciating pain. We went to Jonesboro, had to be transferred by ambulance to Memphis, and ended up staying there for a week.
Anisha Lawless is now suing the Truman School Board for allegedly not following her daughter's individualized education program. Kinley's IEP states she would have a paraprofessional to assist her at all times. But the lawsuit states Lawless has text messages between her and the aide that say the woman would regularly be pulled to assist in other duties at the school, and students would be assigned to stand in for her. In fact, when Kinley was injured, the lawsuit says her aide was untangling Christmas lights.
Now she has, if it's not her aide, someone's with her at all times. But that was after the accident. Like, this had to happen and her almost lose her life for them to do what they signed an agreement to do from the beginning.
We reached out to Truman School District for a state.
Closing thoughts. All right. Number one, if you are a teacher assistant and your duty is to take care of someone's child in a classroom in a 611 class, which I've been in, but a 611 class is a class with 6 students and a teacher and a teacher assistant. Now, if a student in a 601 class is in a wheelchair and needs special care, it's your duty as the assistant to take care of that child throughout the day. It's not the duty of students to take care of that student. It's the duty of the teacher assistant. Now, I'm so glad that they are suing the school district and the school, and there will be a trial coming up in June. Now, I'm pretty sure the evidence will show how negligent, okay, the school was, and especially the assistant. And this is a case of negligence, and the teacher assistant should either A, be suspended without pay or with pay, or B, without a job because clearly she do not know how to take care of children. If you're going to be around children, you should know how to take care of children. It's your job, it's your duty, and you clearly failed as a teacher assistant. So continue keeping the victim in your prayers, and we're gonna move on to story number two. Story number 2 out of 8. 2 out of 8. 2 out of 8 is our second story. Is a story we talked about already on this channel. You may remember it. Out of Atlanta, the Celeste. Let me get her last name. Celeste Owens. Her and her partner was on trial for the murder of the 8-year-old. Well, she was just convicted and sentenced to a decade in prison. We're going to talk about that story right now. Celeste Owens. Amari Hall, I believe, was the victim's name. I'm on Fox 5 Atlanta. Let's talk about it. Amari Hall's death. Jury finds Celeste Owens guilty on all counts. She was sentenced to life in prison plus 235 years. And they got this sentence all the way correct. How gruesome this case was. So, this is the brief. Celeste Owens was found guilty on all 21 counts related to the death of 8-year-old Amari Hall, including charges of malice murder, felony murder, and child cruelty. Prosecutor Sabrina Nazam presented evidence of severe abuse, highlighting that Owens and the child's mother, Brittany Hall, acted together in the mistreatment of Amari. Amari's body was discovered in a wooded area, and the medical examiner testified that she died from multiple blunt force injuries, showing signs of malnutrition and battered child syndrome. The defense argued that the evidence did not conclusively prove Owens' responsibility for Amari's death, emphasi- emphasizing the timeline discrepancies and urging the jury to focus on facts rather than emotions. The prosecution case included graphic evidence such as photos, videos, and witness testimony, while the defense rested without calling any witnesses, and Owens did not testify. It took about 2 hours for jurors to reach an unanimous verdict on charges including malice murder, 3 counts of felony murder, aggravated battery, aggravated assault, and 11 counts of cruelty to children, making a false statement, and concerning the death of another. The judge called this crime the most evil case of child cruelty she had ever seen. My heart is empty. I miss Amari every day. The victim's grandmother, Barbara Wright, said during the sentencing hearing immediately following the verdict. She was fighting back tears. My heart is broken in millions of pieces that I have not been able to put back together. She said, I like to talk to her like she's still here. There are days when I can hear her voice, Wright added. She definitely didn't deserve that. The young girl's aunt, Takara Wright, told the judge, respectfully, Judge, I hope she burns in hell. This is by far the most heinous evil I have ever seen in my entire career, and I do not understand it. Judge Angela Duncan said during the sentencing. Owens was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole, plus 235 years that would be served consecutively. You quote, this is from the judge, which I love what the judge said. Quote, you would never see the light of day to perpetrate this type of behavior, cruelty, and evilness upon another person, the judge added. Quote, this was horribly waged to treat these children, and a tragedy that Amari Hall was killed as a result. Gwinnett County District Attorney Patsy Austin Gatson said, we pray that her sisters are able to heal from the abuse they endured and that their extended family can get a sense of closure. Brittany Hall, the biological mother of all 3 children, awaits trial at a later date. Closing arguments and Celeste Owens murder trial. During closing arguments, prosecutor Sabrina Nazem presented graphic evidence and testimony that painted a harrowing picture of abuse. This defendant hoped beat the living life out of Amari. Nazem to the jury, emphasizing that Owens and the child's mother, Brittany Hall, acted together in their abuse. Nazim detailed a pattern of severe mistreatment, saying, slapping them in the back of the head, the stomping, the blindfolding, the laying on the ground, they did this together. Their method was together. Amari's body was discovered in a wooded area in DeKalb County days after her mother reported her missing in November of 2021. 2021. According to prosecutors, Owens fatally struck the child, placed her body in trash bags, dumped her in the forest. Both Owens and Hart initially claimed Amari had disappeared from the extended stay hotel room. It doesn't matter who delivered the fatal blow, Nazim argued. Ladies and gentlemen, it was not only fatal blow, every single blow was fatal to Amari. The medical examiner testified, supported the prosecutor's case. Dr. James Claude Upshaw Downs, Associate Medical Examiner for Gwinnett County, testified Friday that Amari died from multiple blunt force injuries. Her body showed signs of malnutrition and battered child syndrome, which contributed to her death. Multiple wounds in multiple locations and multiple stages of healing, Dr. Downs told the court. Defense attorney Robert Greenwood acknowledged the horrific nature of the evidence but argued it did not prove Owens was responsible for Amari's death. I get the heartstrings of this case, Greenwood said, urging the jury to focus on the facts presented in court. Greenwood contested the timeline of events, noting that the videos of abuse introduced by prosecutors were recorded in July of 2021. Months before Amari's death in November, you are to base your verdict on evidence or the lack therefore not emotion or sympathy, Greenwood told jurors. The jury must now weigh the prosecution's evidence, which includes photos, videos, digital data, and witness testimony against the defense claims of insufficient proof linking Owens to Amari's death. Here's a news video.
Searching. We, the jury, find the defendant as follows. Count one, malice murder, guilty. Count two, felony murder, guilty. We begin tonight with that breaking news in Gwinnett County. The jury in the Amari Hall murder trial has found Celeste Owens guilty on all charges. Good evening. I'm Russ Spencer.
I'm Courtney Bryant. Owens is the partner of the 8-year-old's mother. The jury just started deliberating this afternoon before coming back with a verdict within hours. Fox 5's Christine Spiro joins us with the breaking details. Christine?
Yeah, this verdict was very quick. The jury found Owens guilty on 21 counts. Owen was on trial for killing Amari Hall back in 2021. Now, the case has captured widespread attention due to the disturbing details of the child's death. During closing arguments, prosecutor Sabrina Nizam presented graphic evidence and testimony that painted a harrowing picture of abuse. They say Owens and the child's mother, Brittany Hall, acted together in the abuse. Amari's body was found in a wooded area in DeKalb County days after the mother reported her missing. Now, prosecutors say Owens struck the child, placed her body in trash bags, and dumped her in the forest. Defense attorney Robert Greenwald acknowledged the horrific nature of the evidence, but argued it did not prove Owens was responsible for Amari's death. Clearly, the jury did not buy that defense, and again, came back with a guilty verdict on all 21 counts rather, against Owens. Now, victim statements from Amari's family are happening now in the courtroom. After that, the judge will go ahead and sentence Celeste Owens tonight, so we will have more information coming up later tonight on the sentencing of Owens. At the live desk, Christine Spiro. Back to you, Courtney.
All right, Christine, thanks.
Closing thoughts about this particular story. That child didn't have a chance. She was failed by not just her mother.
Need to open the door to more homebuyers? Hyper target homebuyers in your area.
That child was not just failed by her mother, but she was failed by her mother's girlfriend. Nobody cared about that child, not even the biological mother. And I'm glad that mom's girlfriend got the sentenced. She got she's off the streets where she can't harm any other children. And the mother, when she goes to trial, and if she's convicted, he needs the same amount of time. The same amount of time. Just for being negligent. You allow any and everybody around your children. Again, she had multiple children. Multiple children. And you knew your girlfriend was violent with your children. It was through punishment, physical, emotional. But the signs don't lie. And people like that shouldn't be around children. But we continue filling our children day in and day in. And so Elena got it right. And the mother needs the same amount of time, if not longer. Because then it may give women and mother a wake up call. If you bring an individual into your home around your children and that person mistreat, abuse, neglect, harm, any of that to your children, as the mother of those children, you should be held accountable. Just like a father would be held accountable. You should be held accountable. You should be thrown in the cage. You gotta you gotta think about what did that child went through. All them children went through trauma with both of these women. And these children, the sisters of the victim, will forever remember that. Remember this. Um, remember this day. They will always be embedded in their heads. There will always be trauma. They'll always be traumatized. They're gonna remember that for the rest of their lives. So now those children are gonna need the help to overcome what they experienced back in 2020. And condolences to the victim. We send up prayers to the family, to those other children, to the loved ones. And we as society have to make better decisions about who should be around our children. Because not everybody should be around children. So we gotta make better decisions. All right, we are on story 3 out of 8. And this story is out of Wisconsin. This story happened earlier today around 10. So let's talk about it. Another school shooting. Another school shooting. I'm on CBS News. Wisconsin's taking an L. Alright. After shooting at a Christian school in Madison, Wisconsin. So it's a private school. Here's what we know so far. 3 people were killed and others were injured during a Monday shooting at a private Christian school in Madison, Wisconsin, officials said. The suspect shooter was among the 3 dead. Authorities said 6 people were hurt. Authorities said with injuries ranging from minor to life-threatening during a shooting at Abundant Life Christian School. Officers responded to the school located at 4901 East Buckeye Road around 11 a.m. The shooting was confirmed to one space at the school. Police said, but did not specify whether the shooting happened in a classroom or a hallway. What we know about the suspected shooter. The suspected shooter was among 3 killed at the school. Officers found the juvenile shooting suspect dead at the scene. Madison Chief of Police Sean F. Barnes said they found the person who they believe was responsible, who was down deceased, the chief said. Authorities said the suspected shooter was dead by the time officers arrived and no police fired their weapons. The suspected shooter was a teenage student at the school. Police said Barnes said he would not yet share the age, gender, or any other identifying information about the suspected shooter. He said the suspected shooter motivation is not yet known. Police have made contact with the suspected shooter's family. Barnes said the suspected shooter's family was cooperating with police. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives said it was working on an urgent trace of the firearm the shooter used on Monday. A handgun mostly covered after the shooting, Barnes said. What do we know about the victims of the school shooting? Other than the suspected shooter, two people were killed and six injured. Officials said police have not yet publicly identified the victims. Names will not be released until after officers speak with family members who lost loved ones in Monday's shooting. The injuries range from minor to life-threatening, authorities said. Barnes initially declined to specify if the victims were students or teachers, but released additional information during a Monday afternoon news conference. The two victims killed in the shootings were identified as a teacher and a teen. Barnes said all the injured victims were students. Two of the six wounded were in critical condition on Monday afternoon with injuries that were considered life threatening. I am feeling like a little dismayed now. So close to Christmas, said Barnes. Every child, every person in that building is a victim and will be a victim forever. These types of trauma don't just go away. SSM Health St. Mary's Hospital, Madison said it received patients after the shooting. UW Health also said it was receiving patients from the shooting. What do we know about Abundant Life Christian School? Abundant Life Christian School is a private school founded in 1978. According to the school site, it's a K through 12 school with about 390 students. Prayers requested today. We had an active shooting incident at ALCS. The school posted on Facebook. The school describes itself as a private nonprofit, non-denominational K through 12 institution funded for the purpose of developing disciples of Jesus Christ through an excellent, comprehensive, biblically integrated additional program that is thoroughly Christian in content, context, and practice. Barnes was asked about metal detectors at the school during a Monday news conference. Now,
In her office constantly. We also alerted Madison schools. We put the schools on lockdown, but there's no threats to the MMSD schools at this time. But we wanted to make sure that we did our due diligence in this particular case. Again, we're still going through collecting evidence, collecting information, making sure that our community is safe from what is a sad day for our community and for our country. And we have to do a little bit better. I don't have all the answers that you want right now, but I will tell you this: we have some of the best officers in the entire country. Our detectives are amazing. We're going to go and work hard and go through this scene so that we can piece together what exactly happened. Again, there'll be another briefing in about 2 hours, and if I have additional information, I will certainly let you know what that information is. Again, around 10:57 a.m., officers responded to an active shooter. They responded per our protocol. They found the person who they believe was responsible, who was down, deceased. We know that it's juvenile. We know that there are other persons who have lost their lives. We know that we've transported about 7 people after giving them life-saving measures. It's important to notice, too, that about 3 miles from here is our training center. Today, our special event team medics.
so the update to the story is that two people died, a teacher and a student, not including the suspect. So that makes three, and six were injured. I want to say this. Now, a lot of people are specifying that the shooter is a female and she was 17. Her name is Samantha. Um, I don't know if that's to be true. We're going to wait until the investigation is done, completed, and until they release that information. I want to say this, though. Where and how, okay, did that 9 millimeter gun come from? Now, what I'm specifying is that the gun had to have come from home. Why? Because a lot of times when school shootings happen, the weapon is always laid around at home. A lot of parents don't lock up their weapons. It's laid out on counters, in the bedroom bed, bedroom dressers, inside the dressers, closet shelves, a hall closet, bathroom, bedroom, unsupervised, in a purse, a bag. But with all the school shootings, we got to start locking our weapons up as adults. It don't cost so much to get a gun safe and locking your weapons up because you could save lives. And somebody left a gun around. Somebody was being negligent. I want to put it past to you if it was one of her family members, or if the weapon belonged to one of the suspect family members. Could have been anybody's weapon at that home. I'm pretty sure that's where the weapon was taken from and taken to the school. But why we continue laying weapons around? It's negligence. And now because the suspect took their own life, it's gonna be hard to prosecute this case. Now you could prosecute in the term of negligence if they determine, the police department determines in Wisconsin that that gun was left around and that child picked that gun up, brought it to school because somebody was negligent and not putting the gun up, they can be charged with negligence. You have negligent homicide by omission because you left the gun laying around, or you could be charged with murder, like the case out of Atlanta. Father is charged with multiple charges. The father in Oxford. You have a lot of these cases, like the mother, I believe in Virginia, Newport. Her 6-year-old son took the gun to school, shot the teacher. Parents gotta be more aware what the children are doing and not laying your weapons around. I'm pretty sure somebody left a weapon laying around and that child got access to it. Or 10, still a child. 17 is considered a child. Because a 17-year can consent to anything. So, with that being said, somebody failed to put that gun up. But when there's more information released, I will update you guys on the story. There might be a couple updates to the story, but I will give you guys updates. But for now, condolences goes out to the teacher that was killed, that student that was killed, and to the shooter who took their own lives. You know, I don't know what that person was going through, but violence is never the answer. Don't solve anything. It impacts family. It traumatizes families. And if you going through something and your mind is telling you to commit such a brazen or heinous crime, get some professional help. because not only you're saving yourself, but you're saving many lives afterwards. Don't become a statistic to society. Get yourself the necessary help to better yourself because you're worth something. But don't hurt yourself and hurt other people to get what you want because it's not gonna get you what you want. It's gonna affect everyone around you. It's gonna affect the whole community, the state, the city. And we gotta get gun control policies put in place for things like this because we're seeing more and more mass shootings. Christmas is literally a week away, and we're already seeing another school shooting. Senseless. It is so senseless. But it takes one thing: lock your weapons up. All right, we're gonna move on to story 4 out of 8. DeKalb woman and family is killed by her boyfriend in a murder suicide. She was preparing to leave, loved ones said. So a DeKalb County woman and children, 2 children were killed by her abusive boyfriend. He got mad because she's trying to leave, killed family, and killed himself. Woman, if you love yourself like you say you do, and if you are in a toxic, dangerous relationship with a man, I urge you to get out that relationship, especially if you have children, because is going to save, nothing is going to stop a man from hurting you. Nothing, not even an apology. You gotta want better for yourself, your family, your children, if you have any. A man who's abusive for a day will be abusive for life. Every single day he will abuse you till he get what he wants. So you gotta make better decisions. And I know this woman tried at the end to make better decisions, but it was too late. It was too late. And as long as we continue putting ourselves in toxic, dangerous relationships, guess what's gonna continue happening? We're gonna lose every time. You're gonna lose every time. He's gonna get what he wants by killing you, killing your family, your children, people close to you. So we gotta make better decisions, and it goes both ways. But in this story, she tried to leave at the end, and it cost her life and her family life. So we gotta make better decisions. We gotta make better decisions. Story 5 out of 8. 7-year-old Ivory Smith is killed by an illegal immigrant caused by a DUI. Let's talk about this story. This one is also terrible. This is the victim we're gonna be talking about. Her name is Ivory Smith. I'm in the New York Post. Drunk immigrant killed a 7-year-old months after he was released from ICE detainer. 7-year-old Ivory Smith was killed by Venezuelan migrant Joel Enrique Gonzalez Chasen in a late night drunk driving incident in North Houston just 2.5 months after ICE released a hold against him, a court documents revealed. Fox 26 Houston reported that the court records revealed that Chasen had previously been placed on another ICE hold earlier this year after being arrested for assaulting a family member in June. The felony assault charge against him ended up being dropped to a misdemeanor, and after pleading guilty, Chasen was sentenced to 113 days in jail, which he already had served, and was released that same day. The ICE detainer against him was also lifted that same day after an unknown reason. Fox News Digital reached out to ICE to find out why the detainer against Chisholm was lifted and has not yet heard back. Authorities confirmed to Fox News Digital that the 41-year-old migrant was intoxicated when he T-boned Christina Smith and her daughter Ivory at 2:45 a.m. Police said that Chasen took photographs of the scene of the crash instead of helping and then drove off. The two victims were only a few minutes from home. Smith was severely injured in the wreck but has since been released from the hospital. Chasen was arrested for intoxicated manslaughter and has been put on a new ICE detainer. He should have been charged with murder. Ivy was in the second grade, according to a statement released by the family. The mother continues to endure immense physical and emotional pain from the incident. No parent should have to suffer the unbearable loss of a child, especially under circumstances that could and should have been prevented, said the family, adding the incident is a stark reminder that we need stronger accountability and justice to prevent further suffering for families like ours. I'm going to show you a couple of pictures, starting with this one. Now look how electric the smile is. I like the background picture. The trees and the colors. It's festive. Now, look at his vehicle. That is his vehicle. He should have never been on the streets. Another electric picture. The smile in the background. Alright. 31 years old. He was already in custody for a charge that was a felony. And they bumped it down to a misdemeanor and released him. He's 41 years old. Number one, he should have never been able to get out of jail in the first place, knowing he had a terrible criminal history. And then they dropped his felony conviction or his felony charge to a misdemeanor charge and gave him only 113 days credit behind bars. If they would have stuck his felony charge to him, he would have been doing state time. State time. Convicted. State time. And baby Ivy would be staring at that. But it's the system that are failing our children. It is the system that is disgusting. It is the system that is playing the third wheel. You have the prosecutor, you have the judge, and you have the system, and that is the court. Those three things should have been enough to have him sitting in custody awaiting trial. Yet they released him on a misdemeanor charge. He served only 113 days. A person like that shouldn't be on the streets. He's committing crimes back to back, drinking under the influence, driving a vehicle under the influence, recklessly driving, and he allowed to be back on the streets and consume alcohol and killed a child, a 7-year-old innocent child, and injured her mother. And yet, he's only charged with vehicular homicide. Remember, he went to the scene, put off. That alone should be upgraded to reckless homicide. And they'll bump the second degree murder charge up there too. He needs an upgraded charge because the society is in shambles. And if they'd have gave this man either second degree or first degree and convicted him, society would be even more safe with him in prison. He needs to be in prison for a very long time. He cares about nobody but himself. He doesn't care about society. He doesn't care about his crimes he committed. He don't care about the court systems. He don't care about nothing. So again, we're allowing career criminal, continuously on the streets. And things like this is happening. And Dr. Fair says it the best. We need reforms. We need to keep these individuals behind bars until trial. They don't need to get out on their own recognizance. They don't need to get out on bail. They need to sit in custody. Because then you're protecting society. You're not getting out of jail, committing another crime. Criminals, when they commit crime, they go to jail. They get out and commit another new crime. They don't change. They're criminals. So we gotta do better with our justice system. The justice system of Houston failed this child, failed the mother, and society as a whole. And shame on Houston. Shame on Houston. Shame on you. Keep the family in your thoughts and prayers. Into Ivory Smith, Princess, RIP. To the mother, I hope you get justice for justice. And I would sue the criminal system too, the justice system, for their negligence of releasing him after he was already on a detainer. I would definitely would do that if I were you. Let's move on. 6 out of 8 family dogs attack and kills a 5-year-old girl in the backyard of a home in Covina. That is in California. We talked about dogs in the past. It could have a toddler, 1-year-old, I believe. Babysitter was negligent, left 3 to 4 vicious dogs at the home. She went out. Her daughter was 14, I believe, and child died. She was arrested. Um, let's talk about it. So let's see. My ABC 7. Neighbors react with shock, horror after 5-year-old girl bitterly mauled by dogs at a Covina area home. Somebody needs to be arrested. Covina, California, taking an L. KABC. Neighbors on Monday expressed shock and horror after a 5-year-old girl was fatally mauled by 2 pet dogs um, in the backyard of her family's Covina area home. The attack occurred around noon Sunday in the 200 block of Palomino Drive, according to the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. The girl was transported to a hospital where she was pronounced dead. The child has been around dogs her entire life. Sheriff's Lieutenant Stephen D. Jones said. The attacking dogs were a 10-year-old Rottweiler and a 6-year-old Rottweiler. Mariner mix, authority said. All four of the dogs who lived at the home were taken into custody by LA County Animal Control officers. Ann Evans, who lives nearby, says she initially thought the dogs had attacked one of the family's neighbors. At first, we thought it was we thought it might have been because they said something about the dogs getting loose, that it was someone in the neighborhood after. Other than that, Evans said, and then when we heard it was their own child, you don't think about anything other than what happened. Detectives were investigating the child's death as a very unfortunate tragic accident, Dijon said. Neighbor Elson Cuevas says she felt horrible for the family and honestly felt like it's Christmas time. I think they have another child, and I just can't imagine that on my worst enemy. This is absolutely horrible. Cuevas, who lived on the same street as the victim, said she was unaware that the family owned Rottweilers. Everybody walks the dog, she told ABC 7. I've never once seen Rottweilers walking around. I was very surprised that there even was Rottweilers. Now, my thing is this. First of all, dogs change. Dogs don't stay the same, they change. But this is a case of negligence, okay? Just because a dog in the past years haven't attacked the child, Guess what? The dogs was going to attack someone at some point. The dogs, okay, clearly was outside, not monitored. And why would you leave a 5-year-old child outside with dogs and your child is not being monitored? So that lets me know that these parents were negligent, which in this case can result in a charge of negligent homicide. You were negligent by leaving dogs around a 5-year-old just because they didn't attack her in the past. You still left vicious animals around your children. Those dogs should have been monitored. Your child should have been monitored in that backyard. So it's a sad situation, but there's people in your immediate family that's going to be affected by this for the rest of their lives. Their loved one is gone because of what? Animals that was not being supervised. And the child, 5-year-old child, have another sister who is going to be forever traumatized because she lost her sister, who she probably considered her best friend. Why? Because mama and daddy was being negligent. Those dogs shouldn't have around any children. Those parents knew those animals was an issue. One of these days they was going to strike and kill those children. But yet they continued to leave those animals around those children. So they really didn't care about the safety of those children because you wouldn't have left those animals around those children. They would have been locked up. So, sad situation. And a 5-year-old lost her life, caused her life. And there should be a wake up call to parents around the world. If you want to raise animals and children, protect your children. Make sure your animals are not vicious, they're not unsupervised, and they're not attacking people. Because that's what dogs are made to do. Unfortunately. And to call it an accident, it was this is considered negligence in my eyes of the law. An accident is when you spill something. An accident if you knock something over. Leaving dogs around children not supervised is not an accident. It's called negligence. So you might think it's an accident, but in the eyes of the law, it's negligence. And now I'm going to assume once this investigation is, what I'm saying, done to kill, somebody's going to pay for what happened because you were negligent. As parents, you were negligent. Bottom line. Now, let's move on to story 7 out of 8 girls, 3 and 4 sisters are killed by a DUI driver in Valito, California, police said. So we have another DUI driver that shouldn't be on the streets. And our system is broken because of it. Back in November 26, 2024, which was Tuesday, these are the sisters who were killed. Also crazy. 2 girls ages 3 and 4 were killed in DUI crash in Ralto, police said. Ralto, California, taking an L. KABC. 2 girls ages 3 and 4 were killed Sunday night in Ralto when the vehicle they were in was struck by a suspected DUI driver, police said. Family members identified the toddlers as Elena Flores, 3, and Nevaeh, 4. The crash happened just after 11 p.m. at Walnut and Riverside Avenues, according to Sergeant Daniel Smith with the Ralto Police Department. It's a tragedy. 2 innocent babies got their lives taken away, said the girl's grandmother, Lisa Taylor. Family members gathered at the scene of the crash for a somber vigil to mourn the horrific loss of the 2 little girls Flowers, candles, stuffed animals, and balloons were placed along the curb. They were a joy. We would have tea parties, riding bikes. I'm at a loss for words, said Taylor. Police said the girls were riding in a white Honda Accord with their parents. The driver of the Accord made a left turn onto Walnut when the suspect, who was driving a Dodge Ram pickup truck, heading south on Riverside, ran a red light and T-boned the Accord, police said. The impact of collision sent the car screaming into a tow truck, Smith said. The two girls died at the scene. Police said they were both in car seats, but one of them was ejected from the vehicle. Their parents, 25-year-old Marquis Flores and 24-year-old Valencia Avelas, were also in the car. Flores suffered moderate injuries but is suspected to survive. Aves was not injured. Police said the suspect, identified as 28-year-old Alexis Garcia of San Bernardino, fled the scene but was later found. He had a passenger in his truck, but that person was not injured or taken into custody. Garcia was arrested on 2 counts of murder, 1 count of DUI, and 1 count of felony hit and run. Police said he was being treated at a local trauma center. Once released, he will be booked into West Valley Detention Center, authorities said. The incident remains under investigation. I am angry. I have no words. We all just want justice. It's not going to bring our babies back, Taylor said. A GoFundMe campaign has been established to help the girls' parents with medical and funeral expenses. And shout out to DJ Juice J. GoFundMe's um, life insurance is important. But if you do have life insurance on your children and it don't cover the whole expense, then I could see GoFundMe's. Here is the news video.